Welcome to another production of ParkTV 16 Sports on location tonight to kick off our 2025-2026 ParkTV 16 sports schedule. We are bringing you home girls volleyball action featuring the St. Louis Park Orioles taking on the visiting Kennedy Eagles. They both come in with a 1-1 record. They've already got 2 games under their belt. We haven't even started school yet, but we are well into the volleyball season. My name is Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us as we are on the main gym of St. Louis Park High School, streaming live on YouTube. And the Orioles, coming off a great year last year, graduated several seniors with lots of success have gone on to play college. I'll talk about those 3 later on. So a young team, according to Coach Sam Hansen, who was kind enough to email us a little bit of a preview, and I'll get to that as we go forward here. But now, best of 5 to start with the serve is St. Louis Park, and we're underway in the 2025 volleyball season. Ball makes it over the net. Now it's the Orioles' turn to the near side. That is number 1. Outside hitter, Deki Dolkan. And now the kill shot attempt by number 11. That was right side hitter Celia Slattengren, and that got pushed right back by Kennedy. So they get on the board first, and they win the serve to begin this first game of a 5-game set. And back to serve for Kennedy. That's number 9, Leland Wells. Or excuse me, that was number 4, Monica Tyler, and that results in point number 2 for Kennedy, so they're off to a good start on the road. As I mentioned, Sam Hansen indicated a lot of newcomers they're excited about, a 9th grader, a 10th grader, and another 9th grader, all stepping into huge roles left by last year's seniors. And look at that diving stop by Kennedy's number 3, Reagan Guyan. We can get that on replay when we finish this point. That was an amazing shot, and there is the score by number 14, Nora Snyder, for Kennedy. But what a save. Oh, we just missed it on the back end, and but a great also save by Park on their own end. So great volleyball, both teams diving for balls, making great plays, but the net effect is a 3-0 lead for Kennedy until that nice underhanded shot by St. Louis Park gives them their first point of the match. And now back to serve for Park is Diki Dolkar. And the jump serve from the left side, and that's a big time point for number 1, Dolkar. She does the hokey pokey kind of move for a celebration. I like that. Long ponytail there. Her team now down 3-2, and back to serve number 1. The sophomore, Diki Dolkar. Jump serve again, occupies that left side, and that same shot works again. And she attacks the middle of the back row. Specifically, Catherine Barrientos struggled to handle that serve, and number 1, the sophomore, Diki Dolkar, has scored 2 straight points, going for her 3rd consecutive on serve. The sophomore goes deep, and that one they let go. Nice decision by number 4, Monica Tyler. Lets that go long, but a nice start for Diki Dolkar, and St. Louis Park now down 1 in game 1. We're streaming live on YouTube. This is ParkTV 16 Sports. Again, glad you're with us. Now for Kennedy, coming from the east side of Bloomington. This time it is number 4, Monica Tyler. Easy serve to the middle, and the set off the mark. Chance now for Kennedy with a good set. Now it's gonna go long, and it does go long. That shot attempted by Nia LeClaire for Kennedy gives the Park Orioles their 4th point. We're tied at 4. Back to serve for St. Louis Park is the freshman, Averdy Durazmi. Spins that ball on these serves. They get into a routine, just like a free throw shooter in basketball. You want to do it the same way. Now Kennedy on the defense. A chance for Park with a good set. And the spike attempt and the block. The wall by Kennedy. That was number 13, Nia LeClaire, along with Peyton Subak on the block as they share that high five. Look them get over there. That's their 2nd shot, and they were able to push that right back on number 11, Celia Slattengren, to nudge Kennedy up by 1. 5-4 our score. Kennedy back to serve, the lefty. Gets it across, middle, bump there. Now a set, the return, and the kill shot scores. Number 6, Grace Johnson, senior captain, outside hitter. Big time play by her. And now Park evens it up at 5. Great match here early on. Glad you're with us on ParkTV 16 Sports. Look at the intensity. There's number 7. You can see it on her face. Ivy Hasheen, I should say. And back row, the bump. Now the near side set, the kill shot. It was touched at the net. Out of bounds, point to Kennedy, 6-5. It was touched right at the net before it sailed out of bounds, resulting in a point for Kennedy. So nip and tuck for both teams here early. They go to 25, they gotta win by 2. The serve by number 2, Peyton Subak into the net. Unforced error by Kennedy, evens it up for the Orioles, and now they have the serve and back to do the honors. Number 6, Grace Johnson, the senior outside hitter. She, along with Celia Slattengren, Coach Sam Hansen indicated they're expecting them to step up this year with the majority of their starters graduating last year. And yes, Grace Johnson is doing just that. She did it on a couple plays earlier on a, I don't know what you want to call it, an underhand dip shot that made it in there. And now the serve, big time, and here she'll bring it again. Deep in the back row. Kennedy handles it, but they're gonna have to play defense and a chance for Park if they can get a nice set. Here it comes to the far side. The kill shot going to the far line, saved by Kennedy. Now at the net, and they couldn't quite get that set placed well enough, a little too close to the net for Anya Gronseth for Kennedy, and that results in another point for Park. They're up 2, 8-6. Grace Johnson going for her 3rd consecutive point on serve. She looks in prime form here early on, and that one off the back row as Kennedy scrambling for answers as Grace Johnson gets another one. She looks over to the bench to her coach, Sam Hansen. There she is, occupying the back of the bench. You don't see that very often, but actually it's kind of smart. That's where the server is. She can whisper to her, and there's a flat serve to the back row. This time handled well, and the set was off the mark once again. So this time Kennedy, now having a difficult time executing the set in the last 2 points, has resulted in now a 4-point lead and a 4th consecutive serve point for Grace Johnson, and she'll bring it again from the right side. The jump serve going for that far corner. Kennedy up front. Will they make it over? Just barely. Park gives it right back, and now a chance for Kennedy. They go back deep on St. Louis Park, now to the front row, the near side, the dink shot, the dive save, and now Kennedy plays defense again. Now a chance for Park with a good set. They bring the shot, and the kill shot works to number 1, Diki Dolkar. Excellent point by St. Louis Park. They hung in there. They didn't get anxious, and then look at that beautiful set as Diki Dolkar finds the open floor on that far right near side, and a timeout now on the court as we look at Sam Hansen with the Park Orioles team as they look very good here early on with Grace Johnson serving. And that was the best play of the night in my estimation, what we just saw there, the set to Diki Dolkar. And that was a good timeout taken by the head coach for Kennedy to stop the bleeding and the momentum. Kennedy got off to a great start. They were up 3-0 early on. Then it was back and forth around the 6-point lead. In fact, I think we were tied at 6, and then St. Louis Park has gone on a run here, and they lead by 5, 11-6 coming in the timeout, and their nightmare, Grace Johnson, is back to serve again, and she just looks in great form here. A lot on her shoulders this season, and she is delivering that as one confident-looking young player there. Grace Johnson, the senior captain, looking to set up another point here. And this time, after the timeout, good timeout by Kennedy. It did cool off Grace Johnson, stop the momentum, did its job. Great coaching by Kennedy. Now with the ball, number 3, Reagan Guyan. She made an outstanding play in the back row to start the match, and now she'll serve. And that was a tough serve. as Dolkar barely able to hand it, but she did. Now the dink shot, the tip by St. Louis Park, now to the near side, and they'll play defense and go to the back row to Kennedy. The set now to the near side, the lefty, number 7 was Gronseth, and the attempt to return the ball gets blocked at the net, and Kennedy answers back now with 2 straight points. And Reagan Guyan now will serve again, number 3 for the Kennedy Eagles on her own roll here. That one just gets over the net. Dolkar saves it. Now in the middle of the row, and they go back. Now defense and a chance for Kennedy off the mark there. They do get it back over. Opportunity for Park. Here comes Deco, and she gets another point. Number 1, Diki Dolkar starting to emerge here as an effective weapon on offense, both on the serve and from that left outside hitter's position. Gets the point for Park and the serve. Back to serve though for Park. And now the return, and Dolkar, that was a little bit behind her, and that caused the ball to go into the net. That's why those sets are so important. And that on the serve there for Park, that was freshman libero Ella Plant, who Coach Sam Hansen is excited about as a libero 9th grader. She also mentioned, who we've mentioned several times, Diki Dolkar. She's the outside hitter. And also keep an eye on Avery Durazmi, the 9th grader middle player, as Kennedy gives the ball back to St. Louis Park as we are at the halfway point with Park up 13-9. They played at 25, got to win by 2. Best of 5 games wins the match. And now back to serve for St. Louis Park. With number 12, Chriselle Smith. Now to the near inside. Oh, it just went for the corner. I think that was Dolkar. It was blocked by the referee, and she went for that corner and almost got it. Much like tennis, when they go for those corners. And now back to serve, number 4, Monica Tyler for the Kennedy Eagles. They're only down 3. Plenty of game left in this first game, and now the shot taken by number 2, Avery Durazmi. Number 12, along with number 5, Ella Plant. And now back to serve, Diki Dolkar. These are some of the emerging 9th and 10th graders on this very young varsity volleyball team, playing well early, up 14-10. Dolkar in particular with another effective serve, and the kill shot goes wide left, taken by number 14, Nora Snyder. Point for Dolkar and the Orioles. They go back up by 5, matching their largest lead of game 1. And there is number 1, Diki Dolkar. Big time star emerging, rising star might they say. Now the quick shot, that nice save by number 5, Plant. Brought over the net by Celia Slattengren, ever steady, the blocked at the net by number 2 for St. Louis Park. That again, Avery Durazmi gets that one to go, and she is loving life. Look at the big smile. I don't know if we could get that on camera, but just from my visual vantage point at the table here, that's her second effective play at least. And now Dolkar for her 3rd consecutive point at serve, right over the net, and it's gonna go right back to St. Louis Park with a good set here. And there it is, Grace Johnson gets it to go, confuses the defense of Kennedy, and it goes down, and the point to Grace Johnson and Diki Dolkar, and this St. Louis Park team is in control here in game 1, up by 7, 17-10. 1-minute timeout taken by Kennedy once again to stop the momentum as we get a look at Coach Sam Hansen there on the right. Has the rapt attention of her team. This St. Louis Park Orioles team, you gotta love the energy. Hope it's coming through on the broadcast. Again, glad you're with us here on YouTube Sports. And now Diki Dolkar, as Kennedy coach trying to freeze her on the timeout. Let's see if she can stay resilient and keep that flow going from the service line. I don't keep accurate stats of any kind. I'm more focused on the action and bringing it to you, but I think she's got 3 or 7 points on her service game tonight. That's 7 of the 17, and that one just goes long. You know, that call is made by the linesman on the far right end. Let's see here on the replay if it didn't catch that line, and it looked like it was out, although you couldn't tell for sure. So point to Kennedy, and again, that's the 2nd consecutive timeout by the Kennedy coach. Last time she froze Grace Johnson. This time she froze Diki Dolkar and was able to get them to hit one out. But Grace Johnson, are you kidding me? That was the shot of the highlight of the night. I don't know if we can get that again. Look at this form by Grace Johnson. My goodness. Bang. That is perfection. Kennedy didn't even see it. 18-11. Now back to serve. Avery DeRasmi, low in the back row, forces a defensive play by Kennedy, and now another off the ceiling, and it's in play, and it out of bounds just barely. And the power of St. Louis Park created that shot return out of bounds. Just the power of St. Louis Park's shot over the net, and the bump went right into the ceiling. That's when power wins. And another power shot by Avery DeRasmi. And how can you not love this St. Louis Park team? They've got some young talent here, very confident and playing very well, up by 9 now in game 1. They came in with a 1-1 record, looking to go over 500 here. And now that one, another monster serve by DeRasmi. She'll do it again. And you wonder if Kennedy is losing their mojo here, ready to pack it in and just start over with game 2. Let's see, not with that kill shot. Well saved by Dolke again. Another powerful shot from the far near side by Grace Johnson. My goodness, Grace Johnson has got to be going to some college next year. She's one of the best volleyball players I've seen in a while. She is really in prime form. That kill shot and the power she brings, unbelievable. Okay, now again to serve. The freshman Avery DeRasmi sends Guyan diving. Then she gets the return just as she gets up and couldn't get it over the net. How can you blame her? She's doing everything she can in that back row, diving and then getting up and having to get it over. That was a little too much to ask just then. And now here's DeRasmi as Kennedy looking for answers on her serve. Here they got a great opportunity. The kill shot blocked at the net, saved by Kennedy. Now back over. And the tip shot near side. And they go to the far side and they found the corner. Number 2, Peyton Subak ends the bleeding with a perfectly positioned lob shot. Much like tennis, when the player comes in too close and just caught that corner. Great camera work by our camera operators here at ParkTV 16 Sports. Hope you're enjoying the great images we are bringing you tonight. Now to the near side, and Celia Slatengren with her own power on the right side. Number 11, Slatengren now showing up here big time. Her and Grace Johnson occupying those power point positions from the front line outside hitter, and now it is game point. And back to serve for Park to do the honors is number 7, Ivy Haitian. Set, spike blocked by Park. Nice save by Kennedy at the net. Now back to the near side. Johnson brings the power, and a nice save by Kennedy, but that's going to be too many hits, and Grace Johnson fittingly ends this match, and our score 25-12. Park wins game 1. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. Stay with us for game number 2.
While serving in Afghanistan, I was hit by sniper fire. The fighting was so intense, the medevac chopper was barely able to land. In the hospital, I was given a 5% chance to live. It's a good thing math wasn't my best subject. Today, I visit classrooms and share my story. I talk to kids about dealing with life's struggles. I tell them, with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
I know that some struggles are big and some are small, but they're all struggles, and you have to learn to get through them. With support from DAV, more veterans like me can live their best life. And as a new father, I have one more reason to keep on keeping on. My victory is being there for the next generation.
Adam Alexander, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
We're back at ParkTV 16 Sports from the main gym on the campus of St. Louis Park High School, bringing you girls high school volleyball. The Bloomington Kennedy Eagles coming in to take on the St. Louis Park Orioles. And before we begin big game number 2, I do want to say that the St. Louis Park girls volleyball team did ask for a moment of silence in behalf of the victims of the Annunciation shooting at the church there this morning on August 27th. And I know on behalf of our staff and everyone connected with the production here, our deepest condolences to the victims in the community of Annunciation Church and St. Louis Park girls volleyball, and I'm sure Kennedy girls volleyball team would share in that sentiment. And with that being said, our deepest condolences. Okay, now back to the game. And Kennedy down 1 will start out this game on serve, which is with Stephanie Aguilera Osorio. Trying to get Kennedy coming into this 1-1, and her serve is in, taken by Plant in the back row, and now Park returns the favor to the back row to Kennedy. Now that is number 2, Subak, or excuse me, that was number 3, Guyan, and that is a point for Park, and they get the serve back, so a great start for them here in game 2. And number 12, now to serve, Chriselle Smith, and a nice shot as she shaped that, and there she does the hokey pokey turnabout. That's what I call it, that's what it looks like. Great enthusiasm here, and there is Chriselle Smith, number 12, junior captain setter. Looking very confident, her team up 2-0 with a 1-0 lead, and that one she puts right in, just like the other one, and the hokey pokey is the cheer of the day. There was the gritty by Jefferson, but I think Chriselle Smith and the Oriole team is starting their own trend here. I like it. Now back row to Guyan. She's been busy. Now Subak, and that one sails long for Kennedy, and now it's 4-0. St. Louis Park on the shoulders of Chriselle Smith right there. Has 3 points, now going for 4. Another tough serve at the feet of Kennedy, and this time Kennedy gets the point to go with a nice play by number 14 at the net, Nora Snyder, for Kennedy. Gives the serve back to her team, and that one right there, number 4, Monica Tyler, with the serve from about the middle of the court, and it tips the net and in, and that's good. In tennis, that's a let serve, but in volleyball, it's all good. Not a do-over. And a point for Kennedy. Down 4-2 with number 4 serving for her 2nd consecutive point on serve. Over the net, that was Dolkar. Tipped right back, and now a chance with a good set. Slatengren goes to the deep corner, saved by Guyan. Now the return to Subak, the kill shot, saved by St. Louis Park. Now Dolkar, she was a little off center, wasn't she? That set was just behind her a little bit. She tried to compensate, but it went into the net as she was kind of reeling backwards. And now Kennedy and Monica Tyler to serve for her 3rd consecutive point to Dolkar on the other side. And the set kill shot good for St. Louis Park. Excellently executed the set by number 2, Chriselle Smith. And now a 2-point lead and a opportunity for number 1, Diki Dolkar. Deep and in. Point. Ace. And The hokey, what is that? The hokey pokey? I can't remember that. You do the turnabout. I got to remember that song now because that's what we're seeing on the celebrations. All right, here's number 1, Diki Dolkar. Big time emerging player. Oh, I think she touched it. Did she touch it? No. Oh, I thought there may have been a touch there. It did sail long, obviously, but was it touched right? Boy, that was awful close. I think it was just the way she reacted, but the linesman didn't see it, nor did the referees at the net, and no protest from St. Louis Park. I question that, but we play on. 6-4. Back to serve, into the net. Unfortunately, kind of went off the side of her hand. That was number 9, Leland Wells. So an unforced error, giving another point to St. Louis Park, and now they have their largest lead of game 2. The serve from the back by Durazmi. Saved by number 13, Nia LeClaire, and now the kill shot with the power does sail long. And no touch there, but my goodness, was there power on that shot. Just went long. 7-5 now. Kennedy still in this in game 2, now substituting in. That was number 7, Anya Gronseth. And now the lefty for Kennedy into, not even close. Oh, just a mistimed shot there. Gotta watch the ball. Kind of nerve-wracking, everyone's watching you back there, so hard to say if nerves had a play in that. Miscue, but an unforced error once again gives the point back to St. Louis Park, and that woman right there, number 7, Heeshen. Ivy Heeshen gets to the back row, now Guyan, front row, played well by number 13, LeClaire, but now the set, the kill shot, touched at the net. Guyan tried to save it, couldn't save it well enough as it went out of bounds to the right. And now the ball back with St. Louis Park. They're up by 4, 9-5. Right there, Guyan just getting there. And now the serve once again, clips the net. And off the collarbone of number 4, Monica Tyler for Kennedy, gives the Park Orioles their 5-point lead, their largest in game 2, and they are starting to get command of this one as well. And serving again, Ivy Haitian. Looking good, just like this entire Orioles team. Really looking good. Sam Hansen has to be pleased with how they look. Very professional out there tonight. It's the word that comes to mind. Now Plant, nice set. Nice shot from deep by Orioles. Now the set, the kill, off the net, and the point for the Orioles. That was, oh, that went to Kennedy. Must have been tipped. I missed that infraction. My apologies. Still a great play by the Orioles. Now back to serve is number 2, Peyton Subak. Now the set to the near side. The kill shot took something off of it, and the infraction at the net on St. Louis Park gives the point back to Kennedy. And now they are coming back here. They're only down 3, and back to serve, Peyton Subak. On a roll herself. Very effective player is Peyton. Pounding that ball, and the 2-step jump serve off the net. Reaching in was Grace Johnson. Plant, though, will take the honors to the back row to Guyan. Now to the near side. They'll tip it to the Plant. Plant to the middle of the court. Now to the far side. The tip shot finds the space. Well done by number 8 for St. Louis Park. And I don't have a name for 8. Is that number 8? I don't have her name, unfortunately. We'll try to get that to you, but she has played well at the front. Now back row serve by Grace Johnson. Near side tip, blocked at the net. Saved again by number 7, Gronseth. Now back over to number 7, Henshin. Tipped at the net, and now we've got a rally here, don't we? Now back row, Subak. Plant, near side, number 8, off the front row, and point St. Louis Park, and what a rally that was as they go up by 5. And now back to serve, the senior captain, Grace Johnson, outside hitter. Had a great service game in game 1, looking for the same in game 2. Now at the net, the tip across, the set, and now defensively for Kennedy to Grace Johnson in the back row. Now to the near side is Dolkar, and that one sails long. She went for a little too much as it sailed over the line and gives the serve back to Kennedy as they are down just 4 here, but we're at the midway point. 12-8 our score. Guyan slaps that ball across on the serve, now to the near side. Dolkar, what a diving save by Peyton Subak. If we can get that on replay, what a play by Subak. My goodness, watch this save. Dolkar brought all of it, and she reaches out and just saves it. That is big time volleyball by Subak, and then it ends up point St. Louis Park, but what a great play by Peyton Subak. Okay, back to serve is Plant. Ella Plant. I want to say Robert Plant. I'm a Led Zeppelin fan. Great name, Ella Plant. Now back row, Grace Johnson, the set. Back to Grace Johnson from the back row. They're trying to get her to score from anywhere. Very difficult to do a kill shot from that far back, but it is possible, and if anyone can do it, it is Grace Johnson, but this time unsuccessful on the attempt. Gives the point and the serve back to Kennedy, now off the bench into serve. For the Eagles is number 8, Stephanie Aguilar Osorio. Jump serve goes long, unforced error again. Gives the point and the serve, and that has got to be a frustration for the players and the coach. Eliminating unforced errors, and now skip hopping her way in, the effervescent Chriselle Smith into serve. Her team up 14-5, 5-point lead, and there's some issues on the bench as we're waiting, and now here comes Chriselle. Back row to Guyan. Oh, the trick shot didn't fool Plant, and now Dolkar gets it back over, and a chance for Kennedy to number 12, Chriselle Smith. Now to the near side, Dolkar into the net this time, and the point to Kennedy. They did have a wall set up there that probably impacted the shot by Dolkar, and now coach Sam Hansen out to have a word with Dolkar as she struggled just a little bit finding her range. She was lights out in game 1. Now the shot, the kill shot at the net, off the wall and the ceiling, and the point by number 2, the freshman Avery Derasmi. And we have a great enthusiastic student section. I don't know if we get them on camera at some point, but just to the right of the servers, Dolkar. They've been standing all match long. Great impressive school spirit here on display by St. Louis Park. Okay, now Kennedy trying to return that serve by St. Louis Park. Now to the near side, Grace Johnson delivers the heat. Look at that. I can't emphasize enough how much power that is. Even though Monica Tyler was there to get the ball, she couldn't control the power. Look, it came all the way back and equidistant, and that brings a timeout by Kennedy. They're down 6, their first timeout of game 2. As we look at this prior play, there is the set by Chriselle Smith to the near side, and Grace Johnson just bringing it, and there's that power, right? That's all Grace Johnson's power. It's all that Monica Tyler for Kennedy could do to just absorb that energy and keep that ball in play. But you are seeing college level talent on the floor here for St. Louis Park. Slattengren, Grace Johnson, and some up and coming freshmen we're just getting a look at for the first time. And they're just starting their high school career here. And here's who we're talking about is Diki Dolkar. She's one of them. Coach Sam Hansen has done a great job. She graduated 3 outstanding seniors. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, last year they all broke school records of some kind. And she's got a nice mix of experienced talent and young talent. Fun team to watch here. Stay tuned on ParkTV 16 Sports. We'll be bringing you several other broadcasts throughout the season. I think we've got at least 3 more later in September, October. especially against Benilde St. Margaret's coming up in October. And that shot by St. Louis Park. Unable to handle it on the front row. Attempting to do so was Evie Vanzeren. And now Diki Dolkar, the freshman, having fun there. You can see the smile just below the facade there. She jump serves from the near side and another powerful serve. And they do the hokey pokey again in celebration. You know, everything comes around again in fad, right? You know, crew cuts, long hair, short hair, different styles, and now different celebration dances, and now the hokey pokey seems to be back with the St. Louis Park Orioles volleyball team. Gotta love it. And another win point at the net. Again, Grace Johnson along with number 2, Avery Durazmi. You got the senior and the freshman working together, and Kennedy looking for answers. Down 9 now. And Diki Dolkar has just set up camp at that service line. Oh, and just as I say that, a little bit of a mishit, but what a run for Diki Dolkar at the service line as she extends the lead dramatically for St. Louis Park. They are up by 8, and now into serve. Number 9 for Kennedy, Leland Wells. Trying to find some answers, needs to go on a run, and that is exactly what the doctor did not order for St. Louis Park. Into the net. And a great, as I mentioned, the standing student section here is packed and enthusiastic. School hasn't even started yet these kids are coming to support their teams. The school spirit is infectious, to be sure. Now St. Louis Park, Durazmi with the set. Didn't quite get it high enough as she attempted to get it to Celia Slattengren. But boy, they handle their disappointments and their victories on a point-by-point basis with smiles, and they're just keep that positive energy going. What a great trait for this team going forward. And now Kennedy back to serve. Down 8 with 5 to go in game 2, down 1 game. And there is a big-time kill shot by Celia Slattengren. Big-time smiles in to come in for her now, number 7. Ivy Heeshen, watch this, bang. Beautiful form by Celia Slattengren as she sends Guyan back on her heels, blows that ball by her onto the hardwood inside the white paint for the point. And that one sails long. You know, the adrenaline gets going, and that's when you gotta calm yourself down at the service line. Not easy to do. Such a juxtaposition of emotions, just, you know, celebrating a big time point, that exhilarating feeling, and then calming yourself down, basically almost having to like putt, having that sort of demeanor on a golf course to putt. You gotta really slow it down, ease your breathing. Now Plant reaches in easily. She is very comfortable there. Nice dig by Subak again. And Slattengren saved by Guyan. Now over defensively. Near side, Grace Johnson brings the power, blocked at the net. Unsuccessful. Grace Johnson with the point as usual, and now Park up by 9 with 3 to go in game number 2. And now Grace Johnson gonna try to close it out here in game 2. Flat serve, no spin. Guyan handles it, near side, far side, the hit off the side of the, it was a mishit, but it was very effective. Now St. Louis Park had to play defense. Now the front row to the near side, the lefty, number 7 with the kill attempt was Gronseth. Now Dolkar goes long, out of bounds. Was it touched? Referees looking around, and they're gonna give the point to Kennedy. They did look around and hesitated. Judge for yourself. Was it touched by Subak? Ooh, my goodness. Could have been. Hard to tell. Great camera work once again. Plant off the ceiling, and that was a big time serve by Reagan Guyan. A very talented player along with Subak for Kennedy, and I think at this point she's had enough. They're down, she's got nothing to lose, and she brought, I thought, the most powerful serve I've seen from Kennedy tonight. Bang, look at that. Flat foot serve, very effective. Now Slattengren tries to find the soft spot, and she does. As Kennedy was backing up for the kill shot, Slattengren, out of the corner of her eye, recognized it, took advantage, and dinked it in there perfectly. And now back to serve, Ella Plant, number 5, the freshman, only a freshman, another freshman out there, the libero. Big time, hard serve, back row, Johnson, near side, kill shot, made by Durazmi. And it's now game point for Plant and St. Louis Park in game 2. That was just a beautiful set by number 7, Heishin. Game point for Plant. Soft serve over the mark, St. Louis Park. Play, oh, and that does it. A miss hit at the front row. Unfortunately for Kennedy, ends game number 2, and that is win number 2 for St. Louis Park. They have a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. We'll step aside, but not before telling you you're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. We're streaming live on YouTube. Don't go away. Come back in a minute.
In Iraq, our truck hit a roadside bomb. I had about 16 surgeries on my hand so that I could regain function. And when I came home, I needed a new roof due to a storm. And my electrical was deemed unsafe. And I was about to lose homeowners insurance as well. I didn't really know where to go in order to get help. And so I applied for Operation Homefront Critical Financial Assistance Program. They've really been a blessing. Operation Homefront is a safety net. A lot of veterans, they fall through the cracks sometimes, and Operation Homefront, they catch us. It's been a blessing to us. It's a blessing to other veteran families, and it's good to know that when we come home, there are people who are there that care about us and want to see us do well and want to see us succeed, and we feel it, and we appreciate that. I would say you guys are angels behind closed doors.
Back to ParkTV 16 Sports on location tonight. We are in the main gym of St. Louis Park High School in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, bringing you girls volleyball featuring the Kennedy Eagles coming in, taking on the St. Louis Park Orioles volleyball team in game 3 of the season already, even though the school year doesn't start till after Labor Day. High school sports already underway. Tomorrow night, ParkTV 16 Sports and myself will be at Benilde St. Margaret's for football against Stewartville. But right now, the focus is on girls volleyball. And this very, very exciting St. Louis Park team with a great mix of talent, young and seniors and sophomores and freshmen. And one of them is right there to serve, number 12 to start it off. That's Chriselle Smith, a junior setter, and the point goes to Kennedy, so now they get a good start, much like they did in game 1. They were up 3-0 early before St. Louis Park battled back and won that game. Game 2 belonged to St. Louis Park pretty much from beginning to end, but now Kennedy with a good start in game 3 as they now face elimination in this game with a best of 5 on the line. That served. Saved by Johnson off the ceiling. That one off the ceiling. Now the dink shot, dive by Johnson, couldn't save it. And Kennedy now with a 2-point lead here early, and they are finding the excitement. And there is number 15, Evie Vanzeren. And it is, I have played competitive volleyball myself, and it is very exciting. It is a great high when you play well, and that time into the net. And controlling those emotions, a big part of it. But the jolt of energy you get with a kill shot or a block or an ace of a serve is hard to describe. Right up there. All right, now there is Dolke, and the adrenaline going there early. Unforced error by St. Louis Park gives a 3rd point to Kennedy. And now, let's see. The ball was going to go to Kennedy. We got a substitution off the bench, and we're looking for a volleyball. I don't know where it went. Oh, they found one here. And in off the bench to serve specifically is Catherine Barrientos, and she leans, steps into that, I should say. Interesting delivery. Grace Johnson. I don't know if she tried to take something off that, or was Ella Plant maybe in her way. Hard to say what happened there, but it did come off at a odd angle, and the point goes to Kennedy. And Barrientos back to serve. She takes one big right step on her serve. Bang. Ella Plant, middle row, set, spike, blocked at the net well by Kennedy, saved by Slattengren on the near side. Ella Plant plays it deep to the back row to Kennedy. Now to the near side, and Subak couldn't get it. It wasn't in a good place for her. And St. Louis Park was right there to block it right back. There's Plant with that very well-placed shot. Placed it deep. Then the tough kill shot as she was diving towards it, and St. Louis Park was there to cover it big time. Now Plant with a good serve to the back row. Set attempt off the mark. Defense for Kennedy, near side Grace Johnson, and a nice save on the back row, and the dig shot by Subak. Amazing bang play between number 8 for Kennedy, Stephanie Aguilar Osorio. Watch her absorb the power of Grace Johnson. My goodness, right there, and then right over as Subak positions herself as she's backing up and finds the open spot just over the net. Great point by Kennedy, they're up 5-2. Now Dolkar, I should say, just learning their names, and that one into the net, attempted by number 7, Gronseth for Kennedy, but not before a great little rally by Kennedy as they lead 5-3 here in game 3. Now off the bench, to serve for St. Louis Park, that's Ivy Heshen. And it is warm in the gym, gorgeous early, late summer day here in Minnesota. Quintessential late summer weather for this part of the country. Wow, that goes through the I-beam. I've never seen that. I wonder if we get that on camera. And the kill shot by Kennedy's, I believe that was number 13, but that's the first time I've seen a ball go through the I-beam that straddles the center of the net of the court here. It hits it sometimes, but that time it was like threading the eye of the needle, right? All kinds of excitement here on ParkTV 16 Sports. That's what's great about high school. We got I-beam threading the needle shots, and a whistle, and a infraction. I believe number 15 for Kennedy was in the neutral zone. Van Risen, and now Grace Johnson. Her team down 6-4. Kennedy putting up a valiant fight here to stay alive in game 3. They need this win to extend it to a game 4 and hopefully a game 5 if you're a Kennedy fan. Now the near side, the kill shot. Good. By number 8 for St. Louis Park. I still don't have a name for her, unfortunately. Some of our websites that we used to go to are not as serviceable as they used to be, and so and they don't hand out paper programs anymore, so it's a little difficult. And there is a miscue by Kennedy as that ball ricocheted around like a pinball on their side, and they couldn't get it over. Now Grace Johnson has now tied this game up. And she'll serve again, jump serve, back row. Guyan with the bump and the set off the mark, and that is such an important shot. Getting that set right, and there was really nobody home, and it wasn't positioned very well for anyone to take advantage for Kennedy. And another point now for Grace Johnson, and now their first lead of game 3, up 7-6 as Kennedy fans trying to rattle Grace Johnson by chomping on the bleacher boards here. Nice impact, and there's the kill shot again by the nameless number 8. So sorry I don't have a name for her. Nowhere to be found. Well, she knows who she is, and hopefully the people watching at home, and we'll endeavor to find out here. And there's another great shot by Grace Johnson, and she's on a roll, and now a timeout by Kennedy, and a smart one at that. Again, it's worked twice before in this match, where the Kennedy head coach has taken a timeout and to stop the momentum of the server for St. Louis Park, and we'll see if it works again, but not before we review the upcoming schedule here for St. Louis Park, at least for the rest of September. Coming up, they'll go to Matamidi over on the east side along White Bear Lake. And then Robbinsdale Armstrong and New Prague will come here. Then at Two Rivers, that's basically Mendota Heights. I think that was the old Sibley Henry High School. And at Waconia, out to that beautiful part of the country, western suburbs of Minnesota. Then Chaska Spectrum, that's a new one. I don't know about that name. It must be, I don't know, Spectrum. That's different. Never seen that. Have to look it up. Then, of course, Bloomington Jefferson, the other school, the other public school in Bloomington. But right now, we've got the East Side Kennedy Eagles taking on the West Side St. Louis Park Orioles. And Grace Johnson following the timeout with the serve. The kill shot works. And the timeout worked 3 times in this match. Kennedy has called timeout to slow down the momentum of a scoring run by St. Louis Park, and 3 times it has worked. And Park now 9-7 lead, and back to serve is number 3, Reagan Guyan, a tough, talented player for Kennedy. Dolkar takes a little bit off of that, and it works as it got to number 5, Rowan Doran for Kennedy, and she placed it in the middle, but there was nobody home there to do anything with it. And now again to serve is number 8. She played well. They're trying to rattle her with the pounding of the boards, and that's a nice kill shot at the net. Flat-footed, but very effective for Nora Snyder. And using her height to the advantage at the net gets point number 8 for Kennedy, and they're still within 2 as we near the halfway point of game 3. Back to serve is number 8 for Kennedy, Stephanie Aguilar Osorio. And that one sails long on her. Plant wisely watches it sail over her shoulder and over the back line. Out. Unforced error gives the point to St. Louis Park. They now lead by 3. Now off the bench into serve is Chriselle Smith. And that jump serve goes off her hand there. Little loss of concentration perhaps. And if you're St. Louis Park, you gotta close these things out. It's easy to get complacent. You've had 2 relatively wins that you worked very hard, but nevertheless, you kind of coasted to them a little bit, and they can't rest yet. Got to keep your eye on the ball, and they get a gift of an unforced error on that serve by Kennedy. And I think that if I was the Kennedy coach, I'd be working on that, just keeping the serve in at all costs and eliminating those unforced errors on serve. That'll save a bunch of points. Keep them in more points, which can only equal more successful points for them going forward. All right, now Grace Johnson, back row, saved by Nad Subak, gets the kill shot, but the block at the net there was number 2, Avery Durazmi, along with number 11, Celia Slattengren, the freshman, and the junior captain teaming up there. Veteran and rookie getting it done at the front. And that one goes long on Dolkar, and she returns the gift. And Kennedy hanging in there, just down 3. Looking to salvage game 3 and force a game 4, and then who knows? Has got to be their attitude. And now off the bench into serve, the very effective Catherine Barrientos. She'll occupy that far side. One-step serve. Stepping up is Dolkar. Then Smith, Slattengren, saved on the back row off the ceiling, and the point to St. Louis Park. 4-point lead now, 14-10. 8 now off the bench. The nameless 8, unfortunately. She'll take the place of Avery Durazmi, and back to service, Ella Plant. Back row Guyan with a nice bump. And the kill shot at the front, attempted by number 13, Nia LeClaire, sails long, past the back line. Another unforced error for Kennedy. Gives the Orioles a 5-point lead now in game 3, and they are now 10 from the match in a 3-game sweep of the Kennedy Eagles. And the serve by Ella Plant into the net. Keeps the Kennedy Eagles alive and their hopes alive, but they need to start getting serves in all the time. They really can't afford any unforced errors. Down 4 with 9 to go. And into serve, number 5. Rosendaron with the left-handed shot. Dolkar with the bump, then to Smith. Grace Johnson with the kill shot from well off the net as well. Effective as that ball drops for their 16th point, and now they have 9 to go. And boy, that ball has been running around all over the place. As it eludes temporarily number 7, Ivy Heeshen. And she comes off the bench to serve, and she looks very focused here. And that ball, well done, off the shoulder of back row number 15, Evie Van Verzen. Now to the front row, and the tip and the dink shot is good. Number 8 finds the open hardwood right here. Look at her come up there and go, whoop, over there. Wow, and she had number 7 leaning. That was a brilliant shot by number 8, whose name I don't know. Again, my apologies. Now, that one, powerful serve by 8, or no, that was again number 7, Heeshen. And she gets that powerful serve to go, and now it's 18 to 11. Park up by 7 with 7 to go. And the student section is smelling blood in the water here for St. Louis Park as they're closing in on a 3-game sweep as we look at the huddle of the Bloomington Kennedy Eagles. They are looking for some answers here late in game 3, down 2-0. They came into this match 1-1 on the year, as did the Eagles, or excuse me, the Orioles. So both were looking to go over 500 early. But right now, the St. Louis Park Orioles look in control with the serve. And 7 points to go with a 7-point lead. In order for Kennedy to get back in this, they're gonna have to outscore the Orioles at a 2-1 pace. All right, Orioles, will they be able to close this out in due time? Off the bench to serve, and this time the timeout for the first time does not freeze and ice St. Louis Park, and they come out of that timeout and they get the point this time. On the wrist of number 7, Ivy Heeshen. She'll serve away, back row. Ellie saves it at the net, but again, that is a testimony to her great serve because of the power. She wasn't able to control it. Wait a minute, they're gonna reverse the point. And I don't recognize what the infraction was, and I think the Orioles look a little confused as well. Let's see if the replay can shed light on it. Right there, oh, was she over the net and in the net? Yeah, her body may have been in the net, Johnson. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like her middle body may have touched the bottom of the net. Good call by the officials. And 19-12, and a chance for Subak and Kennedy. And her serve works. Well placed by Peyton Subak. She ties her left shoe or checks it out. And she's gonna try to rally her team. This is the time for them to make a run. And they've got the right player to serve. As she brings it up, jump serve to Dolkar, now to the near side. The kill shot attempt by number 4. That was Stella Hongenbrock. Stella Hunkebrow, I should say. And now Johnson with the kill shot, and that was right in her wheelhouse. And that's gonna give Park their 20th point. Excellent set, and Grace Johnson in the wheelhouse right here. Ella Plant to number 7, Heeshen, and there's Grace Johnson just suspended in midair for just like a half a second before she hit it. That's amazing stuff. Great images. Now Kennedy plays the dink shot, and they find the soft spot between the lines. Kennedy not going away gently into this good night, at least not yet. Number 3, Reagan Guyan, backing up, pounding that ball. She's an intense player, very impressive as well for Kennedy, and she brings that just over the net. Dolkar with the save. And now from the back row, Johnson tries the kill shot. That was going in. She had some top spin heat on that one. Now Johnson in the back row, the bump to Heeshen, and the dink shot by Plant, I believe. Now Guyan over to the back row. Plant backs up, takes it, to Smith. Now the kill shot by number 1, Hunkerbrow. Or was that number 4? Stella Hunkerbrow. Nice job by her. Gives them the 21st point. There's Hunkerbrow. She's hanging over there, waiting. She comes up, and she delivers. Well executed by Hanson and the St. Louis Park Orioles. She's got this team well coached. Good shot at the net. This time by number 14 for Kennedy, Nora Schneider. As they're hanging around, just down 6 with 4 to go. If they can get on a roll here and tighten this up, who knows? And in off the bench to serve once again for the Kennedy Eagles, Stephanie Aguilar Osorio. Needs to get one in here. Back row to Plant. Front row, back row. The kill shot attempt by Hunkerbrow. Nicely done. And now Subak with the big, strong hit. Saved in the back row and at the net. I think that was Grace Johnson that absorbed that huge hit by Subak. And that was power hitter to power hitter. Probably the 2 best volleyball players for either team on the court. I don't know if we get that replay or not, but that was amazing stuff as well, like all of this. All right, now in off the bench to serve. Again, number 12, Chriselle Smith. 3 points to go to close it out and into the net. Smith, that's a couple times now off the bench. She's missed on her first attempt. Young, inexperienced in varsity play. She'll start to keep that mental toughness throughout the match here. They play different competition. They're going to need her coming off the bench. And there's another unforced error given right back. I think if I was Kennedy, I would practice just easy serves. Like, can we get 50 in a row in practice? Just keeping it in. That would be the game. Can you get 50 in a row? All right, now, much like a second serve in tennis, you want to get it in. Ella Plant with the dive, the save at the net, in out into the net. Great athleticism on display. Oh, they're going to give the point to Kennedy, as I couldn't tell if she got into the net, and I think that was Heshin that may have. Or number 2, yes. Durasny. But they are going to give the infraction and the point to Kennedy, and now they are down to their last serve here, perhaps. Number 12, Catherine Barrientos. Match point. On the line. Dolkar, the bump to Grace Johnson to end it, and she does in fine form. Grace Johnson with the kill shot gets the 25th point, and with that, the St. Louis Park Orioles win game number 3 and sweep the Kennedy Eagles. So, for Paul Broden, our producer, and everyone connected with ParkTV 16 Sports, my name is Robert Christensen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. St. Louis Park wins 3-0. We'll see you again. Have a great night.